Welcome to another exciting episode of the Insurance Untangled Podcast. My name is Ben Tuyene, and I'm one of your co-hosts for today's podcast. We run a podcast that is dedicated to helping practices that are tangled up with this whole world of insurance messes that go on day to day. We talk about topics that help you make, or at least take more control and create bigger and better and also brighter futures for both you, your patients, and your team members. So today I have with me my two trusty co-hosts, Naren and Jordan, but we're going to be interviewing Jordan today on the topic of membership psychology and why members are more committed. Gentlemen, welcome to today's episode.
You know what I was thinking? Random topic.
Yeah.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be interesting to just look at all like the insurance company, like all the lawsuits that have happened over the history of insurance, and just documenting those and saying, do we really want to partner with these yahoos? Based off some of our last episodes, I'm like, man, wouldn't it be interesting? We covered one news story about, a lawsuit with an insurance company because of AI. It would be interesting just to say, well, let's go back in time and see, hey, this is a consistent problem, dudes.
Yeah.
Like, these insurance companies are getting sued left and right because they're causing problems for an industry. Anyways, that was what I was thinking.
No,
Random.
I think that would be a very interesting thing. In
It's
fact,
the history of lawsuits.
I texted Naren about this last week that there's some efforts going on to collect that type of data.
Oh, sweet.
But more particularly data that sort of helps with legislation, helping doctors.
Great, even better. Yeah,
create legislation that levels the playing field, But anyway, let's dive into this episode. I appreciate you taking time here, Jordan, and Naren, of course. Always great to be with you. Looking forward to the commentary that naturally comes with these podcasts.
Yeah.
So first question. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Naren.
No, I was going to say this is an awesome topic because I'm a huge fan of influence, and one of the influence principles is commitment, right? When people are committed, they're much more likely to follow through. I mean, people who are religious, I mean, there are certain things they believe in and they follow through with it. People who join the military, they give their lives for the country, right? So,
yes.
So it's just that commitment is so powerful. It can, literally, some people give their lives because they believe in certain things.
Oh yeah,
sure. Absolutely.
So how do we apply that, in the context of dentistry? And I think membership plans, like Jordan, are a powerful way to get people committed.
Oh, yeah. I agree. And I see this every day, right? At least in my life at Boom Cloud. So yeah, commitment is and figuring out how to get people committed. And there's a lot of different ways we can talk about that from a marketing standpoint. And you're obviously the smart one on psychology and all that with what's the Cialdini principles?
Yes. Principles of influence.
Principles of influence. Yeah.
One of the more powerful things that you can do, or at least skill sets that you could have.
Yeah.
All righty, let's dive into this, Jordan. So first question for you, sir, is, when you look at membership plans, what are the benefits for the business or business benefits in offering a membership plan?
Yeah. So when I think of this topic of like membership psychology, I always think about, okay, well, how does this impact the health of the business first? Right. That's where my mind goes. I tend to always think about revenue. Now, that doesn't mean like I'm a greedy SOB, right? Revenue is just a tool for business, for really anybody,
right?
That's living. It's just a tool. It's a byproduct of our services and the value that we're bringing to other people, right? That's all it is. It's just a byproduct. So when I think of a membership plan and really, why would a practice want to implement one of these is because it does a few things, right? It helps with the full patient experience, in my opinion, and what I've seen over the years, or the full patient / revenue funnel of a practice. Mm-hmm. Meaning, when you implement a membership plan and do it correctly, you can attract more patients, and we'll talk about the patient psychology behind that. You can use it as a marketing strategy, right? To attract top funnel opportunities for your practice. The second thing is you develop it's a loyalty strategy, right, for your patients. And every business needs loyalty, right? Even Taco Bell has a loyalty strategy, right?
Yeah.
Gas stations have loyalty strategies, right? We're talking every business, and I'm talking just everyday businesses. Like I go to Taco Bell every day. No, I go to gas station, right? And you see these loyalty. Hey, you want to put your number in for a loyalty number, right, to get points, right? There's loyalty strategies, and there's some psychology behind that, which we'll talk about here in a minute. It's gamification, which I didn't write down on my notes, but that is a psychology thing. And then so we got patient attraction, we got patient retention, and then we have case acceptance on restorative care and other services you may provide, right? When somebody is committed, that's the full funnel that's happening, right? And if we look at it like insurance, because insurance companies and PPO plans could technically have similar benefits, right? But they bring a lot of issues for the practice and the patient, which we'll talk here in a minute. So that's the benefits really are a full revenue funnel or a patient experience funnel. And I say funnel because that's how revenue people talk, right? At least in my industry. When I say funnel, it's just the path to success, right? That a patient or a patient experience path, right? You can think of it that way too. But those are the business benefits of launching a membership plan in your practice.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Thank you.
I think about sorry, Naren.
Go ahead.
Quick comment here before that next question. I think about my life. I counted how many subscriptions I have. It's kind of pathetic. But the crazy thing is I use them every month. You know?
Yeah.
And naturally, I feel like, well, if I don't use it, I'm going to lose out on the benefit. So this kind of has a perfect play into what you're saying there. The psychology behind the membership plan is that.
To that point, because there's a lot of subscriptions out there. We live in a subscription and convenience economy. Let's call it that.
Yes.
Some of the subscriptions out there have a lot of missing components. Like Netflix is a great example. Seems like everybody pays for Netflix. I don't know how many subscribers they have. I think they're in the millions, right?
Like 200 million?
Yeah.
200 million.
just 200 million.
Yeah. So, but if you look at their business model, like a dental practice has, in my opinion, from a revenue funnel look into a practice, a dental practice has a better revenue funnel than Netflix. Now, Netflix has volume, right? That's what they have. But what they're missing, and this is why dentistry is so beautiful when you look at the membership business model in a practice, Netflix is missing what I call expansion revenue, or you can call it upsell revenue, right? Or in dentistry, you can call it restorative revenue. Netflix is only collecting subscriptions. They don't have any other avenue where if you're in their platform that you can go and rent and pay to rent other movies that aren't on their platform, for example.
Like what DirecTV does. You could rent movies that are in the theater.
Yeah.
You pay a premium for that.
You can learn a lot from what good subscription companies do and what not to do in a subscription company. The reason why I think subscriptions work really well in dentistry, especially in like the preventative care, is because you have natural expansion or needs that you discover that a patient needs. And in it, when they pay that monthly subscription fee or the yearly subscription fee, in addition to that, they need to buy a crown, right? They need to get a crown or whatever they need, right? That's a beautiful business model of dentistry where you look at Netflix and you're like, they have volume, but there's a lot of flaws with that model where I find in dentistry, if you do it right, you can benefit more than what Netflix is benefiting, right? So that's how I look at it. That random thought. So there you go.
Yeah,
I never thought of that.
I agree with
smart.
Well, yeah. So the key to revenue, so the key to subscription businesses, whether you are offering a front end subscription like in dentistry, the key to them is what I call a land and expand approach, right? The end all goal is never just, I just want subscription revenue. Yeah, that's great. It's a wonderful business model. I'm first to admit that. But you never just want to stop there. You want to land that subscription So that patient subscription, and then you would expand it, right? Some practices, when I'm talking to them, they're like, well, I just want to get a bunch of subscribers to my membership plan for my practice, and then cross my fingers and hoping a large majority of them won't come to the practice and get services. Cool. That's a great model, I guess. But you can do so much more in regards to helping patients and driving revenue for the practice, right? It's aligned. When you say, well, I want to use my membership plan as a full funnel experience for my patients, meaning they join, they come, and they're committed to my practice, and then they end up buying a crown when they need it, or whatever service that you're offering to them that they need, they end up buying that. So it's a land and expand approach, where Netflix doesn't have a land and expand approach. So
I love that. I guess a company that does have a land and expand approach is Costco or Amazon, right?
Yes,
And,
Costco's. That's why I love the Costco membership plan. Is right. You got to be a member to join their to go into their business.
So,
and then they know that
people who go to Costco spend $1,000, right? As opposed to when they go to a local store, they're going to spend like $100. It's just a totally different, because they have the membership. They feel like they need to make every cent out of that membership.
They kind
of
everything feel exclusive, right? I am a Costco member, right? Which is part of the it's part of the psychology, right? I'm a member.
I'm an executive member now.
I'm an executive member now, right? So there's some psychology there with the land and expand. Like, back to the Netflix, comparing that to Netflix, I really don't feel like an exclusive member of society when I join Netflix, right? That's just not their model. Now there's, like I said, there's certain benefits to their model that work.
Yeah.
But in the dental practice, you can, the exclusivity that, from the patient mindset, I'm a member of this practice, right? And I get exclusive benefits by committing to this practice. That's a really interesting business model that you are patients joining.
Let me just take this a step further. So I know psychology is huge part of, the relationship that you have with patients and how loyal they are to you and how much money they spend to you. So there are a couple of reasons, the perceived reasons why why membership plans work. They may not perceive them, the minute they sign up, but the power of the membership plan is based on these reasons. What are some of those reasons, like the benefits that people perceive, Jordan?
So as I mentioned, we live in a convenience economy. Everyone wants things to be convenient, right? Maybe it's the busy mom, busy family that's like, we gotta take all of our kids to the dentist. This actually just happened to my wife the other day. I've got 3 girls, and they're crazy, wild girls, right? And they take a lot of our energy. Took me 2 hours to put them all to bed last night. Type energy, right? Right? Exhausting. So, my wife the other day, she's like, crap, I got to take all the kids to the dentist before school starts. And just thinking of it was just exhausting, right? And there's ways you can make that a little bit more convenient, right? But from the average day, like the everyday patient, making it easy to understand what joining their practice looks like, especially if they don't have insurance, or if they're moving away from insurance to a membership plan. Is it easy and convenient for them to pay? Is it easy and convenient for them to understand the benefits that they receive when they join the practice, right? That's where it starts. And then the second part of it, is it easy for them to schedule with your practice and go to an appointment, right? Meaning a lot of practices on this stage of the patient experience funnel, we'll call it, a lot of the times, it's hard for patients to book. I'm a perfect example. I love the concept of membership plans. I am a subscriber to Dr. Anderson in Pleasant Grove, Utah, but I have never gone to his office because it's very hard for me as a busy CEO to book time to go into his office, right? From his, so if I were him, I would be adding some type of online booking where I can, because I'm not going to sit down and call an office and book my time. I only go to offices that offer online booking, medical, like if I'm going to get a massage,
Mhm.
Everything's online booking. I don't want to call. I'm too busy. I just want to get on my phone, do it real quick and book, right? So that's the convenience mindset. And membership plans obviously do that from like a psychology standpoint when it comes to pricing and what do I get
I think,
when I join.
like for example, half of Americans do not have insurance, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
right
yeah.
now
Over
they
half.
don't have a convenient way to get their teeth cleaned at a
Yes.
predictable price, right? Like I know I'm going to pay X a month or X a year, and
Sure.
that's it. It's taken care of. So
Yeah.
it's the same reason why we sign up to Netflix or cable, or I want to watch movies. I don't want to go and find a movie and pay for
Yeah.
it. I just stare and I just watch it.
It's
Right?
just there. Yep. It's
Yeah,
convenient, right?
convenient. Yeah.
You log in Netflix every night. That's what the business model of Netflix brings is convenience, right? That's really what they're focusing on. It appears.
Even from a cash flow standpoint, it's convenient, right? Imagine I have to go to the dentist and pay $500 out of my pocket versus it's just planned monthly fee.
I'm
And
paying it monthly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just part of my budget. So that's the patient psychology and the benefits of the patient, right? Sometimes in
Mhm.
dentistry, pricing is the number one reason why patients don't show up. Then insurance, right?
Yeah, because that fear, right? Oh, it could cost me
Fear.
$1,000 or
Yep.
$2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, let's restate that fear of the price of the unknown pricing,
Unknown
right? So when
pricing,
you
yeah.
have a membership program, it gives them, which is the next benefit, control, understanding, control of their budget, right? Meaning patients don't like to be surprised. Nobody wants to be financially surprised on a bill, right? So when you're offering like preventative care membership plans, which is very common, that help the patient get everything covered for their preventative maintenance, like the patient feels in control, which is
And I think this is even goes deeper than that, right? Like for example, not only that, don't they want to be surprised? They don't want to look like they don't have the money. So imagine
yes,
somebody
good
says
point.
it's $5,000, $2,000. They don't want to say, well, I kind of like, I mean, it just makes them feel so
there's an ego thing
thing attached to it, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to with a membership plan, like there's none of that stuff. It's just taken care of and it's covered and end of story.
Yeah. And I would even but add to the conversation. Membership plans make it convenient and easy to understand from a financial standpoint. But what happens when they do need to get restorative care, which can be a large payment? Well, the membership plan, that gives them some type of savings on restorative care, in most cases. But then what happens, like if you don't want that ego thing, let's call it the financial ego conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has it, where it's like, okay, let's assume that let's give the patient tools, so like financing tools in this example, and let's just say we're just going to make this easy for you, whether you can pay in full or not. Hey, did you know we have, in addition to being a member, we have payment plan options on restorative care, and you can make payments or you can pay it all in full. It's choose your own adventure. You're in control. When you allow the patient to feel in control, even though you're the one that's offering the options, you're the one in control, but the patient feels like they're in control. When you give options like that, the sense of control allows people to make a decision easier, faster, right? So the psychology of control, even though whoever's presenting the options to, like, hey, you can join my membership plan, and if you need restorative care, you can join a payment plan, right? You're technically the one in control, but you're giving the illusion of control to the patient based off of the options that you as your practice is able to provide, right? That makes sense for both the practice and the patient. So that's when I say control, that's what I mean.
Yeah, what I like about the 10%, let's say savings on all the other care, insurance doesn't do that. Nobody does that. So I think it's an advantage. It's the same reason why people use Prime. They give you free shipping. So I sign up for that Prime membership and I get that benefit. That is almost like, even though it's only $2, $3, it just makes me feel like I'm special, I'm important. And I think, and I think that level of, VIP service, I think, endears people to the practice even more. Like you said, it's not just about, land, it's about land and expand. That expand piece really gets strong.
So that segues perfectly, Naren, into the question that popped up in my mind, which is, when you talk about membership plans and insurance, why are membership plans more powerful than that of a PPO plan?
Yeah, so I'll add one more thing that number one, community. There's an office down the street here that when you join the membership plan, you get put into like a drawing and you can win prizes for your kids. It's a pediatric dental office, right? And that drives some community, right? There's other ways to drive community. That's just a very quick example. There's some practices that do like a quarterly patient day where they and you can do this with all your members, a member day, right? Where you can do like I've seen a practice where they've rented like bounce houses and things like that and put it to the field next to their practice, or like the park next to their practice, and they had a member day, right? So there's community things that you can do specifically.
Member appreciation day, right? Like appreciating
a member appreciation day. You can do a patient appreciation day, and then you can have like a exclusive member section, right? Oh, you're a member, you get X, Y, and Z, right? There's a lot of things you can do there, where I think a lot of practices don't take that advantage of the membership psychology. They don't go a little more and do things like that. I have seen that some practices do that, and I think it's really cool. Even services that I use that I pay monthly for, they say, hey, we actually do monthly member benefits, and you get X, Y, and Z, and it's kind of fun, right? But they build it, and I get to meet the other members in the community, right? So I would say community is the first, right, on that, which was part of my last topic. The next thing is just direct relationships. We know that relationships is king. Dentistry is a relationship-based business. People want to have that hometown feeling when they go see the dentist, not the corporate feeling, right? Even though you may have systems and processes in place for your practice, people still want to have a relationship, right? I have a hard time going to the dentist or the doctor if I don't have a relationship with that person. So I'm not going to be as open.
Are you talking, Jordan, about why membership plans are better than PPO plans?
Yes. So you can develop the direct relationships, right, with the patients, where if you have a PPO patient, they're kind of influenced by the PPO plan. And so is the practice, meaning the patient will be like, well, I'm only coming to the dentist to get what my plan covers. It's like, well, the reality is your plan doesn't cover much. So when they're on a membership plan, there's a better direct relationship when it comes to the benefits for the patient and the practice, right? In addition to that, there's no red tape when you have a membership plan patient. It's just whatever you offer to your patients, you offer your patients. There's no third party saying you can't do that, or no AI, right? In today's
rejecting claims.
There's no AI rejecting claims. You're not going to reject a patient that needs care that's on your membership plan. It's just simply not going to happen, right? Which I find really interesting. That's the state of dentistry when you're on a PPO plan, is you're going to get rejected. You're going to have red tape. It's going to be a headache for the patient side to deal with and the practice side to deal with, right?
Like I'm somebody who I hate headaches, so I think just for that
right?
reason alone, I'll do it. I don't care about any other reason.
And I think about a story that our new chief revenue officer, he Dustin Kenyon, he just joined our team, and he's been a member of a practice for years. And he came to a point where his wife needed a lot of restorative and cosmetic needs for her oral health care, but a few of his kids needed some stuff. And the doctor, since Dustin on our team was a member of the practice membership plan, the doctor actually worked a better deal out because of that, because he's been a loyal member that went a little bit above and beyond his initial deal for joining the membership plan. And that made him feel, that's the cool thing, is you can tailor it to your patients. You have no third party and no red tape. So and then I would say reduce admin costs. Well, let's talk about the culture too of a dental practice. A lot of it is, I gotta go call this insurance company and deal with this problem. It kind of creates like you don't wake up every day excited to do that, right? So when you can remove that piece of the culture of the practice, or that the admin costs and time wasted on working with insurance, you actually build a better practice culture when your office staff wakes up every day and they're like, I don't have to, let's say magically they have a full day of membership patients. They're like, wow, I don't have to call and verify. I don't have to.
No distractions.
It's a better experience for your team members and your patients, meaning your team members probably can wake up every day and they're like, wow, I'm actually excited not to work with insurance and work directly with these patients, right? So there's some culture benefits when you implement a membership plan. Increased revenue from a practice is why it's powerful. Membership patients simply spend 3 times more with the practice because they have built that relationship. They trust the doctor, and there's a simple mechanism that allows them to understand the pricing of your practice, right? And what they get. So you want things to be easy and convenient to understand, especially from a financial standpoint. You get savings, and if you need restorative care, we can work out a payment plan that is easy for your budget, right? When you clear that it's so much more beneficial for the patient and the practice. Whereas with dental insurance, it's like, you've hit your max, so now you got to pay everything out of pocket, right? Or insurance companies are denying and delaying claims, which causes problems, right? So that's how I look at the benefits from a 30,000-foot view.
That's awesome, Jordan. Final question for you. Obviously, and it's very apparent that you're an expert in this field here. So if I'm a dentist listening to this or a team member, how can I learn more about creating or growing a successful membership plan?
Yeah, so we have resources on our website. Go to boomcloudapps.com or boomcloud.com. Either one takes you there. We have free books. We have the $1 Million Membership Plan ebook that talks about how a practice went from 0 to $1 million in annual recurring revenue from the membership plan. And we have also the Boom Cloud University on our website. You can go and learn about memberships 101 and that business model in your practice. We have a lot of free webinars and trainings on our website. And then I would also say check out our software and how you can manage a membership plan. Our platform helps practices create, grow, and automate membership programs. Our system is really easy to use. I would recommend you schedule a demo. There's a pink button on our website that says schedule a demo, and you can see how BoomCloud can help you do everything we talked about today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jordan. I really got a lot out of this podcast. You are a wealth of information, and I think really thinking about the psychology and why this is such a powerful concept, I think was a really good use of our time today. I also want to take a minute to thank our listeners for everything you do. Please do check out the Boom Cloud Apps website to learn more, like Jordan mentioned. And of course, go to insuranceuntangled.com. You can see the show notes. You can see all the resources. You can see the past episodes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play. Till we meet again, your co-host, Naren. And thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Ben, once again for this awesome episode.